Andy asks Ciara what her intentions are for the reunion. And she says, well, I guess at this point, we
Oh,
should
this is
discuss the
good.
details before I put them in the ground and cover them with dirt.
Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers!
Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Wendy.
And tonight we're going to talk about, finally, Summer House Season 10 Reunion Part 1. I have 6 pages of notes, but we're going to try to get through this in a timely manner.
That is craziness.
I mean, I was just hanging on every word, I guess. So I do like the way it started out. Basically, we see Lindsay doing a confessional. I don't know if it was for Summer House or in the city. I'm assuming it was in the city because the statement came out March.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would have been filming in the city. Okay. So Kyle comes in, which is kind of interesting to me because you never know like where or when they're doing confessionals, but they must have all been in like, where was she doing her confessional that Kyle was just there to be like, hey.
They do it in a studio now. Like, I think they used to actually do it at home.
Right.
But I think
with backdrops.
Right. I think now they actually do it in the studio because it's easier. You know, it's easier to have them just go in and do it in the studio. So he was probably in another studio and they said, go in and talk to Lindsay.
So I think production was heavily involved in this scene right here. So Lindsay's giving her confessional. Kyle knocks on the door, tells her to check her phone. And it's this, the statement from Amanda and Wes. Lindsay's like, none of this makes sense. This is not what happened. And then Jesse calls Lindsay. Then Mia calls Lindsay. Kyle says that he and Amanda had a conversation the night before. And then Carl calls Kyle. So I think that production reached out to all of these people and were like, call this one. And now they're all on the phone together and they're putting the phones together, which whatever. That's fine.
I think that that's what happened. And I'm okay with it because honestly,
absolutely,
I think that's what would happen in real life. Like,
for sure.
They just happened to be filming.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to get it on camera in real time because as soon as you saw that message, you're going to call somebody, you're going to call this one, you're going to call, that's what you're going to do.
Right. Carl says you do not touch another man's wife the way West was touching Amanda. Mia is going to take a red eye to go check on Ciara because she was in LA. Jesse is like, the lies and deceit are disgusting. They're calling bullshit on when Amanda and West were trying to say it started. So then we go to April 23rd, 2026. They all show up for the reunion. I like that Lindsay and Bailey.
3 weeks, right? 3 weeks after their statement came out was they filmed the reunion, right?
Well, no, April 23rd. It had to be after that because the statement came out in March. So maybe like a month or so. I don't know.
I thought it came out like March 31st.
Maybe.
Okay.
So Lindsay and Bailey are sharing a dressing room talking about what colors they're wearing. And Lindsay says she's wearing red. And she says, I'm the devil you don't want to know. West and Amanda were sharing a dressing room. And Carl's like, that's an adjustment for me because I'm sure Amanda and Kyle have been sharing a dressing room up until this point. This, I don't think we knew. On April 17th, Ciara's Glamour cover came out. That is when West and Amanda's kiss at the Yankee game was also on social media, which I thought was very interesting. And we find out that KJ was supposed to be at that game with West. And Carl asks him, why didn't you go? And he says, we weren't friends anymore.
We're not friends anymore. Yeah.
We're not friends
I was very shocked. I was so shocked to see that.
Because it was a Kansas City game, which would make sense because they're both from there. This I thought was a little whack. Amanda asks West if he's okay, and he says he feels very zen.
I think he was high. I think he's high.
Well, I think they both were. I mean, I'm sure, and I'm sure they weren't the only two that were there that day. But I just thought it was a little wild for him to say that. Like,
I mean, listen, he's shown us who he is. It doesn't surprise
yeah,
me that he says stupid
yeah,
shit. I
yeah,
liked that Kyle, specifically said, when he was talking to Ciara, "I'm not drinking today. There's gonna be no drinking. Like,
yeah,
I'm doing this, clear-headed." And I love that. I love that
yeah.
because he knows, what the stakes are and how high they are, and, he wants to be clear-headed. And you could see that that was not the case with the other 2.
No, no. Andy asks Ciara how she is. I mean, Andy, what do you think? And she says she's had better days. She feels more betrayed by Amanda. And I just think that totally makes sense. She said she's shocked by West, but really hurt by Amanda. I don't think she should be so shocked by West, but that's just my personal opinion.
Well,
And
I get it. I get it. I think that, you know what? For whatever reason, Wes is charming. I personally don't get it. I mean, I just don't get it. But when they call him out at the end, Lindsay calls him out at the end
mhm,
and says, "You know what? Like you are just first of all, he said very little. The very little that he said, like you're just saying the right things. Like you're, you he gets away with stuff and
for
It
sure.
it doesn't make sense to normal people. It really doesn't. I mean, even Lindsay, she's like, I'm starting to buy this. Like, I'm starting, and I know what happened. Like, the fact that Lindsay was saying that, I was glad that she did. I was really glad that she did.
No, of course. So then Jesse announces that there's a West dick pic going around.
Oh my gosh. First of all, have you seen it?
No, I
Because
wouldn't.
it got to there was a watch party. Page 6 had a watch party, and Margaret was there. And it got to Margaret, and I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, it got to Margaret." She's like, "And I didn't wanna see it, like, this came unsolicited, and then I wanted to see it, but I didn't wanna see it, and I certainly wasn't gonna Google it. I did not want that in my Google history." And I was
Nah,
just
I'm
like,
all set on that.
I mean, oh, listen, he sits there on the couch and said, "Someone hacked my phone." Bullshit, nobody hacked your phone.
You
You
sent
sent
it
it
to
to somebody.
somebody, and apparently it wasn't anything to send to anybody.
Why are you sending a flaccid dick pic? Like, what is your I mean, seriously. Because that was the other question he said. "Well, did you see it? Was I hard?" And they're like, "No, you weren't."
No,
So he
no.
knows he sends flaccid pics. Like, why are you doing that? It's
Yeah,
so
it's just
sophomoric, and that just shows you who he is.
listen, he's a clout chaser. What Lindsay said at the end was spot on, and everybody knows it's true. And this is so Andy asks West and Amanda how they think this is gonna go, and Amanda says it's going to be about shutting down the rumors. What rumors? Everything that was put out there was true. There
Yes, it
it's not
was.
a rumor if it's true.
Right.
There I I I I don't know. Alright, so let's just so Kyle's talking to Ciara and Mia and says he was really bottoming out at the end of the summer. Now, everybody knows how I feel about Kyle. I really don't have much sympathy for him. I think that Kyle was a horrible partner, and maybe this summer he realized how horrible he was, and maybe, according to him, he tried to salvage his relationship. I don't personally feel that going out and staying out until 5 a.m. while your wife stays in is trying to salvage a relationship. But listen, that's just me. But in any event, Ciara gets emotional and apologizes and says she really misunderstood him this summer. So I do think that that was nice of Ciara because despite how I feel, Kyle was clearly hurting in this moment and Ciara was there for him as a friend, which, listen, I think she's always been a good friend to Amanda and she's always backed Amanda, but maybe now we're all seeing a different side of Amanda and maybe
Oh, she's
Kyle
a girl's
deserves
girl.
a little bit of grace. Yeah.
She's a girl's girl, and it's interesting to me that you're saying that because I remember last week when we were talking about it at the end of Summer House, the season finale, when I was watching Kyle, I said to you, I feel so bad for him. You not only called me
I
out on
I
it.
don't feel bad I don't feel
I know,
bad for
no,
him
no,
at all.
no, no.
I
I know
really
you
don't.
don't. I know, I
I
know.
think it's
I
nice that
totally,
Ciara's there for him as a friend, but I don't feel bad for him.
I
No.
know. I still do, is what I'm saying. I still do. So, like you and I have totally different philosophies on this whole situation as we do on New Jersey when that comes out. We see that totally differently. We don't agree on everything, and that's
No.
okay. We don't have to agree.
Right.
I feel sorry for Kyle. I saw Kyle this summer and I watched it from the beginning, even though you weren't watching it. You didn't start watching it until this because I kept saying you it's really good. You should watch it because one, I'm not going to let one person stop me from watching something. Like if there's one person on it I don't like, but I don't dislike. Like I accept Kyle for who he is. Like I think he is a man child. I think he's finally
I think
realizing.
it's more than him being a man child though. Like he's hurt her. Like he has
I'm not saying he hasn't.
intentionally hurt her. That's
I
not
don't
being a
agree with
man
that.
child.
I don't
Cheating on someone isn't intentionally hurting them.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't agree he intentionally hurt her. I don't think she was I don't think that she was she's not innocent in this whole relationship. The relationship takes two. The fact that the first time we see her apartment, like the inside of the apartment and the condition of it, Kyle has been saying this, like she doesn't get out of bed. She suffered from depression. She wasn't participating in activities. So he was out to do everything by himself. And I would imagine that if you're living this life with someone who you believe that you love, and he does love her, there's no question in my mind that he loves her. There's no question that he loves her. That there's going to come a point where you're going to do stupid shit. Not that I'm excusing it, not that I'm saying it's okay, but I'm just saying she's not innocent in this whole thing. She was not a victim. I don't think she's a victim. I think she played a part in this whole situation. You don't
I
have to
think
agree, and
she
that's okay.
No,
Like
I
we
think I in the beginning I've said this. I think she was a victim in the beginning. But at some point I think she just got to the point where she was like, I'm staying because I want to be on this show, not because I want to be in this marriage.
So then how can she be a victim? Because you were the one who said that only reason she was hanging out with him is to be on the show because she was a booty
No, not
call.
in the beginning. I think she truly loved him in the beginning.
You didn't
When
think she was on it just to be on the show in the beginning? Because
No, I think
I
she
thought that's
fell
what
in
you
love
said.
with him and wanted to marry him, and I think she was in it for love in the beginning, and then I think he broke her over the years because of his behavior, and eventually she was like, "Well, I'm not leaving because I wanna be on the show." I mean, the show is based around Kyle. That's it is what it is.
Yeah, and I disagree with you on that because I honestly think because she even says it, she's never lived on her own before. She doesn't know how to navigate it. So, yeah, he is 10 years older than her and he's got more life experience. So, if you're not happy, you have to control your happiness. You're not going to change someone else's actions. You only can change yours. And it took her a long time to finally change her actions. And that's on her. That's on her. I don't know. You
Yeah.
and I see this differently, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. No, but I do think she was in it for love in the beginning, Amanda. I do. I think she really truly loved him. But I think that over the years in their marriage or in their relationship, because they were together a while before they even got married. I mean, he cheated on her before they even got married. She still married him. He cheated on her after they got married. Like these are intentional acts. Cheating is an intentional act. So
It's not. I don't. That's something I don't agree with. I don't agree with
you
that. I'm
don't
just saying.
think cheating on your spouse is an intentional act? Is it
I
by
I
accident?
I think sometimes when you're intoxicated and you're out too long and maybe under the influence, I think you make bad choices. I think even adults make bad choices. We know our kids make bad choices, but I do think there's adults out there that make bad choices. And that's something that you and I disagree on. You may never forgive your spouse, if they cheated on you. I may. I don't know that I would. I'm just saying that I may. It's something I may consider. Like you and I have different views on these things, and that's okay. Like that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's intentional. I think it's stupidity. I think he regretted it the second he did it. I think it was impulsive. I don't think his
Well, if you
intention was to
regret it
hurt
the
her.
second you did it, then you probably wouldn't do it again. And he did it again. But all right, let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So when Andy leaves West and Amanda's dressing room, West goes, "Well, that was, he goes, not bad." And Amanda smiles and says, "That's nothing." The worst part about Amanda this whole time is, like, she smirks, she smiles. I just don't see any remorse in any of this. And,
Oh, there's
there's
no
a lot of
remorse.
people online saying, like, "I don't understand what Ciara is so upset about. She only dated him for 6 months." And I agree. I get that. I think for Ciara, it's more the lying. I mean, we'll get there, but the text messages. Okay, so am I to understand there has been no kissing, no hand holding, no hooking, no, and Amanda writes correct. And Amanda's like, "Yeah, I lied." Like, I think for Ciara it's more that. It's listen, you could say what you want. He broke her heart on national television. And she said it, like, she had her, like, community saying, like, "You let this white guy," basically, the second time, because don't forget Austin Kroll did it to her first, publicly humiliated her. Now she lets this guy do it, it's just, to me, I think it's more that,
I agree. I agree
the
with you on that.
lying
I
and the
mean,
deceit.
it's definitely the lying and the deceit. And honestly, that's intentional. What Amanda did was intentional because she was
Yeah,
afraid to tell her the truth. It's not that she accidentally didn't tell her the truth. She flat out asked you these questions. You just had to answer them honestly and you chose not to. That's
right,
intentional. That's
right,
intentional. And now we're not going to believe anything you said. We're not going to believe that you didn't sleep together until you put out that
right,
statement. Because why
right, you
would
can say
we?
whatever you want now, we're not
You've
believing
already
it.
lied. You've already
Yep,
admitted that you lied. Nothing you say is going to carry weight now.
right. So we're finally on stage. It's definitely awkward when Amanda and West enter. Ciara walks out, and I loved this. Jesse says, "All rise," when
Yes,
Ciara
he
walked out.
does.
That was
Yes, he
great.
did.
Andy's baby pink suit. I
I
really
put
liked
behind
it.
me. There is Sierra's. That is the revenge
Yeah,
dress of all
yeah,
revenge dresses.
yeah.
I
She looks
mean,
great.
amazing.
She looks great.
Amazing. Not so great. That's West with his blue. KJ in his white suit.
KJ looked
Amazing.
amazing.
Carl. Love Carl in that green
Yeah.
and his signature white pants.
Hmm. So green must be a soft bar color because
It must
Bailey
be
and Levi were both wearing green, and they said that they were representing soft
soft
bar.
bar green. Now, I loved the Lindsay red dress, and I love that Andy said, like, "Why are you wearing this?" And she's like, "Well, Kyle couldn't wear the revenge dress," and then they
Yeah.
showed all the memes, and honestly, I love that she did that. I
Oh,
love that
yeah.
she did that. Like, that's like, she is a ride or die for Kyle, like, she really
Well,
is.
if nothing else, I think that this reunion proved that Kyle, Carl, and Lindsay, the 3 OGs, are rallying for each other, which is
Yes.
nice because they started this. So,
Yes. No, she looked amazing. She looked amazing. Jesse was okay. Oh my gosh, Mia, another one. I love me.
yeah.
I love
Yeah, I
Mia.
think Mia won the reunion, even though Sierra, like, killed it, but Mia, the way she sauntered out there, just amazing.
Ben did not like his look. Not a big fan of Ben's anyway.
You know what? He's so what's the word I'm looking for? Not important?
Yeah, that's it.
Irrelevant. He's so irrelevant.
Irrelevant. So, honestly, that's pretty much how Levi was this season. Kind of irrelevant, but I want her to come back another season. I want us to actually see her.
I
I thought
think
she
we
looked
would have seen
amazing.
more of Levi if it hadn't been for the whole West Amanda thing, because I think what happened was they filmed the show and then they edited it to tailor to the West Amanda relationship.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So there was
But I
probably a
think
lot more to what Levi gave us that summer, but we just didn't see it.
yeah, and I want her to have another season. Kyle looked amazing. And oh my gosh, Bailey? I thought Bailey looked great.
Bailey looked great.
That's Lala. Yeah, so these are the looks from the reunion. I thought Ciara killed it. Honestly, there's nobody that could pull that off. There's nobody else that could pull that off. On all of
No.
Bravo,
Yeah, she looked great.
she deserves every bit of flowers that she is getting right now
Yeah.
more than anyone ever.
Yeah, I'm just surprised by some of the social media. I don't know why, I shouldn't be, but I'm surprised by some of the social media comments. And Andy asked Ciara, like, what's it like to get so much support from the Bravoverse? And she said it's more than she could have ever expected. And then Andy says to Kyle, a few months ago, I thought that you were going to have the most to answer to on the reunion. And Kyle said it's kind of bittersweet to be in this weird place because he felt the same way. He'd have a lot to answer to. And then now it's like, "Oh, all right. Amanda says she's ready to take accountability and apologize to Ciara and Kyle and to explain to everyone's face what went on and where she's coming from. At that point, Ciara turns to Kyle and says, I'm glad she can say our names. Because obviously, in her chat GBT apology that was released in March, she did not name Ciara and Kyle.
She didn't name anybody.
No. So Kyle says he's a mess. It's hard to reconcile what's going on, and they should be holding themselves to a higher standard. He's nervous and anxious. I don't know where this. No, that was Carl. Carl said he's a
Carl.
mess. So I don't know. Is that where this Carl's a mess came from?
And I could be wrong, I think that when this whole thing came out, they decided to make these shirts that Carl's a mess to help support Kyle and Loverboy. Because I think that the money that was raised from the Carl's a mess, like the money that was made from the Carl's a mess shirts,
Went to
went to
Loverboy.
went to Kyle and Loverboy. Yes. I think that's what happened. I mean, and Carl was there to do it. And Lindsay was there to do it. Like they did it, they did it for
Oh
I
yeah,
think
they
it was
did a whole like
I mean,
Lindsay
Lindsay's
and
the
Carl.
PR person. Lindsay's the PR person. Lindsay said, like, this is what we're going to do to help our boy Kyle. Like, we're going to say Carl's a mess. Everyone's going to, and Carl is so emotional and so in touch with his emotions, right? And he's not
Right.
afraid to talk about them. So they used him as the Carl's a mess, and he was okay for it. He was
Right.
okay to do it.
Right. Yeah. So Jesse said he's sad and it hit him on the way over that the friend group is fractured and he's hoping they can find some common ground and move forward. And then Andy welcomes the newbies, Bailey, Ben, Mia, and KJ, because Levi's not out there yet.
I thought that
KJ
was
says,
weird.
I did too, but I'm just going to say this. I'm glad they brought her out before they brought Dara out.
But yes, I am too.
Yeah. KJ says he's sad. This is family, and he feels like there was a lot of fraudulent activity. So then Andy brings up that in February 2026, Amanda and West were spotted holding hands at an event. And then on March 31st, you're right, the joint statement was released. So he asks Ciara, when did you first suspect that something was going on? And she said on January 17th, she called Amanda to invite her out for drinks with her and Mia, and Amanda was at West's house. Amanda didn't answer, and then Mia sent in a group chat 30 minutes later something about going for drinks, and Amanda responded to that. So Amanda goes on to say that West was there for her all summer, and Ciara repeatedly said, and where was I? So it's interesting to me. So Amanda was blowing Ciara off for West, and Mia says you're prioritizing your friendship with West over Ciara, and Amanda denies it, but you were blowing off Ciara to hang out with West, so you were, because otherwise you would have been blowing West off to be with Ciara.
Yeah. I mean, she has no defense.
She has zero defense. And then then they start talking about who Amanda was hanging out with at the time. And Kyle starts to say that Amanda was hanging out with someone, and Ciara says, who's friends with West? And Amanda says, no, not friends with West. Fuck off, ma'am. We are not doing that. We are not telling Ciara to fuck off. Because yes, you were hanging out with West and his friends, and you're not sorry. And
So was this person that she was supposedly hanging out with, was this the girl Katie? Is that
so
what the name was?
the name is Katie, but I don't think it's Katie who's on In the City.
It's not that Katie?
I think there are two Katies. Right.
Okay, because that's what I was
I
going to
could
ask.
be
I was
wrong, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's the one because the one on In the City is also friends with Danielle. And no, it's not because that Katie supposedly is Amanda's friend from like 4th grade or something.
Okay.
And so Ciara and Amanda basically start going at it. And Ciara says, I don't see your man sticking up for you now. And Wes just sits there silent. Silent. Jesse says that he asked Amanda over drinks. She denied it. She said it wasn't true. Jesse says he has a timeline, but they didn't
Well,
go into that.
I think they didn't get to it yet because on Watch What Happens Live that came out about the timeline because Andy asked him after the statement came out.
Jesse.
And Jesse, yeah, because Jesse was on Watch What Happens Live after March 31st, the statement came out. And Andy said something about the timeline. And Jesse said, oh, I have a timeline. So he goes, I think he even said, I'm saving it for the reunion. So I think we're going to get
Okay,
to it.
so hopefully we'll see it.
Yeah. Because he
Wes
was the
says he
closest,
lied.
I thought. I thought he was the closest to West. I mean, it seemed that way, right?
100%. It totally seemed that way.
I mean, but the fact that Kyle went to West's parents' house and was riding horses there, I mean,
I know. I know. So Ciara says Wes lies about his life. And I agree. I totally agree with her. Like what we see on camera is not the real Wes.
mm-hmm.
He's been there 3 years. Nobody knows who he is. And then she says it's so confusing because you had a full-time girlfriend, Mia. And of course, Wes says he was seeing somebody, but she wasn't his girlfriend. Like this guy is an F boy to the umpth degree.
Yeah, and
And
then
then
she asks Amanda if you knew
Andy asks
about her.
Amanda, "Did you know?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, we had an entire conversation about it." And Mia says, "Amanda, this is crazy. Like, you went from being married to being one of West's side bitches. Like, what are we
True.
doing?" It's
It's true.
100% true. I mean, there's only one place they can go from here to make it okay in the future, and that's to get married and have kids and live happily ever after. If that doesn't happen,
That's never going to
this was
happen.
all in vain. It's not gonna happen because
It's not going to
everything
happen.
Lindsay says at the end is 100% true. This guy's not done. He might be done with Summer House. We don't know yet. I guess we'll know
Well,
July
he'll be
4th when
done.
they start filming.
There's no way. There's no way he's coming back to Summer House, and there's no way Amanda's coming back to Summer House. There's no way. There is no way.
Listen,
I'd put money
never
on it.
say
I would put money on
never.
it. I would put money
Never
on
say
it.
never. I think Bravo is shady AF, and I
No, they
never say
definitely
never
are.
when it comes to Bravo. So Wes says that the announcement was rushed because of all of the layers, and everyone's like, right. So there were so many layers. Like, didn't that give you cause for pause? Like, there's so many layers because of all of the people that are going to be hurt in all of this, but you still forged ahead.
Like, you put out a statement for rumors online instead of for the people that you hurt?
Right. And
That makes
Ciara
no sense.
says, you chose the one guy that fucked me up, and you are a snake in the grass. You move silent, but you are deadly. This is the problem. This is what I think people are missing. They didn't have this long 10-year relationship, Ciara and West, but he publicly humiliated her. And this isn't just somebody he hooked up with. And listen, I'm going to put Austin Kroll in the same category. Ciara has been very honest with who she is. She doesn't give herself away easily. And we as viewers know that. So I can't even imagine being in a friendship with her and pretending not to know that. She doesn't give certain pieces of herself away. So when she does, it's like sacred. And these two douchebags on
Yep.
Bravo, Austin and West, basically publicly humiliated her. So Amanda, being one of her best friends, to then go date this guy, it's like, what? Like, when your best friend is dating a douchebag, you don't a month later be like, hey, now. You know what I mean? You hate him for the rest of your life because that's what you do.
And honestly, if you think about it, this is what happened to poor Sutton. Her
Yes.
best friend wound up is
Yes.
with her ex. Like,
Yes.
this is craziness, right? This
I
is
mean,
crazy the way that
she could
these.
have been the reason he left, you know? We
I
don't
mean,
know.
we don't know, but she probably is.
She probably is.
And Sutton is a class act and barely even spoke of it.
Yeah. So So Ciara starts reading off the text messages between she and Amanda. And basically, like I said, it's like Ciara was point blank asking her, and Amanda was lying. Leave it to Kyle. He's like, he was my friend too. Like, I feel like I'm being kicked to the side because we were talking about Ciara and how she was being hurt, and people weren't paying enough attention to Kyle at this point. That's who Kyle is. That's who Kyle is.
But again, I know you don't like Kyle, but Kyle's also the one who's still worried about Amanda and her mental health
Mm,
because he knows that West is not capable of supporting her. And he does really love her.
right.
He does
Yeah,
really
no,
love her.
I don't doubt that he doesn't love her. I do think he loves her. I mean, he's just not a good he was not a good partner to her. He just
No, he
wasn't.
wasn't. I agree with that. That I agree with.
Yeah. So I loved this. Andy asks Carl if their statement, because of what happened with Carl and Lindsay and all of the, backlash he got. Andy asked Carl if their statement was the right move. And he says, terrible move. But if you're going to do it, apologize to Ciara and Kyle. It's like singing happy birthday without saying someone's name. And under their breath, Kyle and Lindsay are both like, great analogy, great analogy. And you see Carl. I don't know if he's looking at Kyle or Lindsay, but he smiles and
It
smirks and
was. It
winks
was
and
a great analogy. Yeah,
was
100%.
spot
He nailed it.
on.
He
He
nailed it.
nailed it. That's when I was like, this trio, like Carl has to be on In the City now. And I think that he probably wasn't. We talked about it last week. I'm sure he wasn't because the show was supposed to be, it was initiated, I'm sure, to follow Lindsay in her life. And then Kyle
Yes.
joined and blah, blah, blah. And Lindsay and Carl weren't in a good place. But hopefully now that they're in a good place, it'll turn out well and he'll be on
I
it.
hope so. And I hope, because most recently in the city, Kenny was like, I'll go anywhere for you except for Brooklyn. I was like, what
I
is with
know.
these new what is with
I
these
know.
Manhattan people that don't like to go to Brooklyn? It reminds me of early New York housewives when what's her
Yes.
name lives in
Alex
Brooklyn. What was her
McCord.
name? Alex
Alex
McCord lives in
McCord.
Brooklyn. They're like,
Yep.
oh, we can't go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn's awesome. Are you kidding me?
I know. It's ridiculous. So Amanda says that she texts Ciara an apology directly, and Ciara pulls out her phone and says the day the rumors dropped, she heard from her later that night. And her text basically said, the internet is on one, and West and I were just friends. And Andy says, to be clear, you were hooking up at that time. And Amanda says, they were talking. So Ciara then asked, are there any videos or photos? She says, you and West haven't hooked up, held hands, kissed, or had sex, right? And Amanda says, correct. And Amanda says, I lied. Basically, their defense was she and West were just going to sit there and be like, yeah, we lied. I lied. Yep, I lied. I
That's how
lied.
we're
I'm
clearing it
sorry.
up
I lied.
by admitting that we lied.
So Andy asks who made the first move, and West says that they were out. And he said to Amanda, am I crazy or is something going on here? Their first kiss was in February after a brunch where they all were at together. Like it looked like all the boys actually were at brunch.
And that's what was talked about. The boys were
Yeah.
at brunch and the
Yeah.
boys separated, but then they ran into West and Amanda together after the boys had separated. So they all the core group knew about this.
Right. Right. And then they say that they slept together after the statement was released, not that night, but after. And obviously I don't believe that. So Ciara continues with her text. On March 7th, Amanda says, this is what's wild. On March 7th. So they've already determined that they proceeded with this in February. On March 7th, Amanda says to Ciara, I'm super in my head about where we left off. Do you want to talk? This is so silly over West. Meanwhile, she's in a situationship with West. And this is what she's telling one of her best friends. So Amanda says, I should have said, I don't know what's going on. I have feelings for someone I shouldn't. So this was amazing. Andy asks Ciara what her intentions are for the reunion. And she says, well, I guess at this point, we
Oh,
should
this was
discuss
good.
the details before I put them in the ground and cover them with dirt. I think we need a t-shirt with this made up.
Yes.
Like, honestly. She needs to just start selling T-shirts.
She's a queen.
She's the queen. If she wasn't before, she is now. So then they go to break. They come back. Levi joins them. She says that they're gonna try to break away from the Ciara and West and Amanda of it all. She says the parties were her favorite part, and did you find it where she said the guys weren't that into her?
Yeah, she did say
Is that
that.
Yeah, that was kind of
I think
weird.
she meant the guys in the house, but the guys in the house weren't they're not her people.
Right. Right.
Like,
So
so,
then they
I
try
mean, it was Carl, Kyle was married, Ben, who we know had a girlfriend,
totally.
Jesse, who is another F-boy. Like, the guys in the house are not the guys that she should be interested in anyway.
Right. Not at all. Andy tells Ciara that her costumes were amazing this year. She said her fake boobies were the best $300 she's ever spent on eBay, and hopefully we're going to see them in the clubhouse soon.
That was so funny.
Yeah. Mia talking about her friendship with Ciara, like that sends me. Like, and then she talks about her mom, and she says she needed to hear that her mom was okay. Her grief is a journey and every day is different. Andy asked
I
about her
love their
relationship with
friendship.
Scott. Yeah, I love their friendship too.
I love their friendship, and I'm surprised we've never met her before, to be honest with you.
I know. You're right. You're right. Andy asked about her relationship with Scott. She said they broke up after the summer. She's always the breaker-upper, and she's not looking for anything right now. She said she doesn't think it's healthy to go from one relationship to the next, and then they totally pan to Amanda and West. So funny. Andy asked Ben if he had any idea that Bailey had a crush on him, and he said no, he did not. And then Andy brings up Amanda's birthday dinner when Bailey accused Ben of wanting to sleep with Amanda. She said she wasn't trying to upset Amanda at her birthday dinner, and she thought she was being silly because they were joking about the skinny dipping. They were joking about the skinny dipping, and she thought it was okay to talk about, and I totally agree with her. What I thought was odd was that at this point, they didn't show Amanda's confessional where she's like, Ben was trying to sleep with me. There was a whole group chat about it.
Exactly.
Like, why didn't production show that?
Exactly. And that's the thing I liked about Bailey in this reunion, that she gave
Yes.
it to Ben. She gave it to
Yes,
him.
she did. She did.
And I loved every minute of it, to be quite honest with you. I loved every minute of it. I did.
Well,
because
he
I think she's
100% deserved it because he had a
Yeah.
girlfriend, and that's why he was so bent about what she said. But
Yeah.
what she said was played off of you guys joking about skinny dipping last year at a wedding in Italy. Like, she wasn't saying you wanted to fuck her now. She said you wanted to last year.
Right. Which Amanda admitted to.
Exactly. Like, Bailey was 100% justified.
Yeah.
This was great. Andy asks Ben if he has anger issues, and the entire group is like basically shaking their head. And I think it was Ciara was like, Ben, like, fess up. So this guy must have anger issues.
Well,
We
you
only
could
got to
see
see
it.
a tiny piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said that he and Bailey hadn't had a conversation all summer. And Bailey was like, bullshit. She said, you like to reprimand women, and I don't like the way you talk to Sabrina, and I don't like the way you talk to women. She said, I adore Sabrina, and I think she can do better.
Yep. Because he's like, well, Sabrina likes you. She's like, no, I adore Sabrina. And yep, I think she can do better.
And he was
I
like,
know
oh,
she
how
can
come
do
you were
better.
turned on by Carl getting in someone's face? She's like, because it was another man. It wasn't a woman. Like, that's a, Pussy. I don't like that word, so I won't say it.
Okay, I like how you spelled it, though. That's fine.
Yes. So Carl says that Bailey's easy to talk to and very emotionally intelligent. And Lindsay says that they're both goofy and quirky. Carl says he wasn't fully clocking the energy and he's been cautious in the house. I think this was Carl, like, friend zoning Bailey.
Listen, I agree. And I think that that's just the right thing to do because, like she stated, they're in different places in their life. He's 10 years older than her.
Yeah. And
You
listen,
know, and
let's
they
face it,
do have
Carl
good
needs a
energy now.
Lindsay.
Oh my God, he definitely needs a Lindsay. He
Carl
definitely
needs a
does need a
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Yeah, he needs someone who's going to take charge.
Yeah. But I would like to see where Carl and Bailey went. But I think, like he said, he's very cautious. Like
He doesn't want to ruin their friendship.
Exactly, and especially if, hopefully we see Bailey again because she was great on the show, so let's see where it goes. This part, my god, KJ. Andy
KJ.
says KJ calls Ciara and Mia his sisters for life. I know, I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. KJ says that neither one of them are letting him get away with anything, and Andy said everyone admired his honesty about his mental health struggles, and he goes on to tell us that he went through heavy stuff in the fall. He had to go to the hospital for self-harm. Mia and Ciara were there almost every single day. And then he went into recovery after that for a few months. And he got to focus on himself. And he thinks he really needed that. He's never faced his issues. And now he's on meds for BPD. It's not what I thought it was. At first I was like, oh, bipolar. But it's
See,
not
this is the
that.
thing. So, borderline personality disorder, there are not
Right.
meds for that. There are not meds for that. That's one of the few mental health issues that there's not meds for. So, I was very confused by that.
So he's probably on something like,
Yes.
some people with anxiety, they don't take anxiety medicine, they take antidepressants because it
Yes.
helps their anxieties. Yeah. So
Yes.
I'm sure he's on something that just helps whatever symptom it's symptomatic. So whatever symptoms he
Listen,
has, there's some kind of medicine for that.
the
Whatever he's
fact that
doing is working
yes, the
and
fact
God
that he
bless him
went to
for it.
rehab and the fact that he has a diagnosis and he has medication and the therapist and that he's treating this, it honestly, it first of all, I am so thankful that he was able to get the help that he needed and also that he's
Yeah.
talking about it. As
Yes.
having someone very close to me that has mental health issues and has had them for a long time, people don't like to talk about it and it's stigmatized. And I think it's so important that when
Yes.
someone like KJ can just to talk about it and raise awareness, and it's okay. It is okay. It's okay. And, you know,
Yeah, so it's
he better be back.
interesting, he better be back. How he listen, I wanna see more of
If it's good for
KJ,
him. If it's good for him. If it's
if
good for
it's good
him.
for him, yeah.
Yes,
So,
I agree.
obviously,
I
this
totally
week,
agree.
right after the reunion, he drops on his social media a video because I guess he's a performer, obviously, because he's
Yeah,
dropping a lot. I
he's
follow
a
him on
singer,
Instagram,
right. Yeah.
and, Dara is in his video, but it's also come out kind of, but not really that they broke up. Like, it's out there, you know? So we think KJ and Dara broke up. Listen, I've been suspect of her since the beginning. And then Bailey and Levi and Lindsay all basically kind of said like they thought she was with him because he was on the show. I got that same impression right away. So whatever, we'll see. But she does appear on the reunion at some point, and it does seem like she's yelling at somebody. I can't tell if it's West or maybe Bailey because of what she said on I don't know if she was yeah, she was on Watch What Happens Live, right? When she said it? Or she was on, virtual reality.
No, no, she
Something.
was on Watch What Happens Live. So she was on Watch What Happens Live, and she said that when Andy asked her. And then she was supposed to be on virtual reality, but
And
because she was
Levi
on
went
Watch What
instead.
Happens because she was on Watch What Happens Live, it was too much for her because she's not the stay out late kind of girl 2 nights in a row. So Levi went there instead
Right,
and stood by what Bailey said.
right.
Now, like this week it came out that she had posted some pictures where they were at a wedding together and she called him her forever wedding date, like wedding, wedding plus one forever. And then he deleted all the pictures of her off his Instagram, but she still had the pictures of him.
Yes.
And then he put up a post that said, he didn't say specifically that they broke up, but he did say that you need to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And I've
And
recently learned
somebody
that.
posted, like, "I'm so confused," or something, and he wrote, "I'm so confused too," or something like that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
listen, we have no idea what's going on. We'll see. I
Listen,
mean,
we're Team KJ. Whatever's going on, we are here to support KJ. That's all. That's
for
all you need to know,
sure.
right?
That's right.
That we
That
agree
is
on.
right. Yes, absolutely. So Andy moves on to Ciara buying her grandparents' house. She's slowly doing renovations, and now she's letting her mom take over because her mom had a
I
lot of
love that.
opinions.
I
Yep.
love that.
She's excited and knows they're gonna build a lot of memories there. So her dad knows now that she's the one that purchased the house. She said she thinks he misunderstands her, and she thinks he doesn't understand why she would wanna buy the house. Like, that's kinda sad to me, like, because if she's telling you she wants to buy the house because she had great memories there and she wants her kids to have great memories there, you should be happy.
Well, he's seeing it as a bad investment, and that's not why she's
Right.
buying it, and that's where the
Right.
issue lies. He doesn't see
Yeah.
her the reason she's buying it, which isn't about
Yeah.
of an investment.
Mia says Ciara downplays her success. KJ says he's proud of her and he looks up to her and he wants his younger sisters to be like her. Andy, this is what I don't like. Like, let's not give Wes any area to have certain opinions about where Ciara's at right now. Like, to me, he doesn't deserve that platform, right?
No, I agree.
But Andy asks him if it hurts to now know about the house and not to be able to share it with her. And he says, yes, he was out of the loop. But towards the end of the summer, when he was faking being interested again, he became aware. So Sierra basically said she was tired of the energy in the house while she and West weren't talking. They were best friends at one point, and she didn't want everyone to think that she had this hard exterior. And that's why she kinda gave in, basically, at the end. And then, they're showing them making out. And then Kyle, it's funny
But
how
the ear stuff,
yeah, it was fucking weird.
I'm like, "What is wrong with him?"
Yeah, like, it's so weird. So this is interesting, I don't know if we've talked about this. So for a while, I was like, was West like a loser in high school where now he's like trying to make up for it but no, apparently West was like some star football player in high school and then went to college to play football,
Yes,
which I
yes.
knew that. And somebody said like he's just still riding that high. Somebody needs to cut him down. And we also need to hear from didn't he have like a long-term girlfriend in high school or something like that? We need to
I
hear
don't
from
know.
her. Yeah, we need to hear from her. Yeah, the ear stuff was weird.
Yeah, he's weird.
He is weird. Kyle asks if West was breadcrumbing the audience, like making out with Ciara as a storyline. And Ciara says he and Amanda feels like the best type of revenge. And West says at no point did he say he was trying to get back together with Ciara. And Ciara says, well, you told Ben you had a crush on me, and then it's dreamy when we're together. And we see that. We see
Yep,
Sabrina repeat what Ben told her that West told him, and then we see West say, like, it's whatever when they're together. I don't think the word was dreamy, it was something else, but
magical.
magical. That's what it was. So Mia says to Wes, did you really mean what you said to Ben? And he says he and Sierra went to dinner after the summer wrapped and he wasn't interested in a relationship or being a boyfriend. He said he was trying to be proactive to protect their friendship and not having sex was basically how he did that. But in the meantime, Sierra's like, we were texting, flirty messages, and Lindsay calls West out. Like, what's stronger? A physical,
Sex or an emotional
hookup
connection?
or an emotional connection? And he answers emotional. He says their chemistry is strong and he fell short in those moments. And that's when Lindsay says, you are so good. I'm getting pulled into you right now and I could catch myself. You're good at pulling girls to climb the ladder and clout chase and then drop them when they don't serve you anymore. And you're going to do the same thing to Amanda and you won't be able to handle it because you're a toddler. I mean, amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing, Lindsay. And Ciara says maybe it will work out because he needs a woman, he needs someone who won't check him. And that's totally Amanda. She's mute and weak, and West can be the star in the relationship. And all the while she says this, West is nodding his head like, yeah, yep, wild. And Kyle says, see, to Sierra, Kyle tells Sierra
That's
that was
harsh.
harsh. And she says, that's your wife, not my wife.
And he says, "You're allowed to feel however you wanna feel, but
Yep.
it hurts me to hear it."
And
And
Amanda's like
it's true.
welling up sitting there.
Yep. And when she does get up to leave, we're gonna see, I mean, we do they give us a preview. Wes doesn't
Do
go
you think
after
he
her.
goes after her? You don't think he does?
No,
I feel like maybe they're making it look like he doesn't, but he does. But you know what? He
I don't
is
think
such
he
a
does. I
PUSSY,
don't
he
think he
probably
does.
doesn't.
And Kyle, I think I heard Kyle say on an interview afterwards that he was going to go after her. He was,
No,
but
it's
he
not his
didn't.
place anymore. Yeah.
Right. It's not his place anymore, but he was going to. And listen, if somebody stopped him, it was probably Lindsay, right? Because
Right.
she has his best interest at heart. But this is what I'm saying is that he still cares about her and he still feels for her. And my heart is still broken for Kyle. Even though, listen, Amanda's not innocent in this whole thing. She's just not.
Well, not
She's not.
anymore.
No.
For sure, not anymore. Listen,
No.
I don't know. I don't know. There's
July 4th is just around the corner. It's just I cannot wait to see who is filming. We still need to get our asses to Soft Bar in Brooklyn. We
Yes,
need to
we
do
do.
that. I want to go to Soft Bar. I do.
I
Carl
definitely
hangs
want to
out
go to
there.
soft
He's there
bar.
a lot. Everything I've heard, he's there a lot.
I feel like maybe a Sunday might be a good day to go.
Might be, yeah. I'm up for a
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm down with that. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next one. I wish I saw more remorse in Amanda. I mean,
There
West
was
is
no
just
remorse.
there was no remorse.
No.
There was no remorse. I don't know. It's sad. It's very sad to me. And I think like I said, I don't like that people are like making it like Ciara shouldn't feel the way she feels. I feel like it's the
Who
deceit, the lying, the people
Yes,
on
she
social
absolutely
media are like they dated for 6 months. She's playing herself like a victim. No. No, no.
No. She's not a victim. Ciara is not a victim. She's not a victim.
Because here's the
And
thing, we saw even with Austin, like remember that weekend he came for Lindsay's birthday and he's making out with Lindsay
mhm.
like that was weird. Like
That
these
was weird.
guys are
And
such assholes.
Lindsay played a part in that too. Lindsay was a bitch in that too.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
Lindsay's not the angel, but she'll admit it. When
Right.
Lindsay's done wrong, she'll admit it. She'll admit where she's done wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these guys, they don't admit it. I mean, Austin
No,
to
they
this day
don't.
will never admit it. He'll never admit
No.
it. West will never admit it. And West is going to go on to date somebody else. And he's going to go on to do whatever it is he does. And he'll probably be successful. Amanda, on the other hand, I don't know. I don't know if she's going to go the way of Raquel. I don't know what's going to happen to Amanda.
I
I
don't
don't know what's
think
going to happen.
reality TV's in her future because there's if she's not with Kyle, there's no place for her on in the city. It's not like she's
No,
got this great job that we all want to follow. It's not like she's like designing bathing suits still, like she's this big designer. She doesn't have
no.
she doesn't she's not married to Kyle. I just don't see her on this show anymore. Either of them, really. But I wouldn't be shocked if they brought her back to Summer House. I wouldn't be shocked. Because
I
that's
would.
what Bravo does. I mean, I think Raquel left Bravo. Like, I think she was like,
She
done.
left on her own. She left on her own
Right.
accord. She did. She definitely did.
Right.
She definitely did. But honestly, I feel like Amanda should leave. I think her family, like Amanda's got a strong family behind her. It's not, she's got a family in New Jersey. She's got a family behind her who could support her. And her family is, I think they're pretty wealthy.
Yeah. But they're definitely wealthy. You see that house they got married at? Then that's in
Yeah.
a very wealthy area. Hillsborough?
Yeah. Yeah. I love how Carl called that out about when Ciara said, by the state of New York, you're legally married. And Carl's like, New Jersey,
New
Hillsborough.
Jersey.
Kyle laughed. Kyle laughed.
He's like, that was funny.
It was funny.
So,
Listen, I don't think reality TV is the right thing for Amanda. I think
not
that
right
she needs
now.
to go. No, I think she needs to go figure it out. I don't think mentally she's equipped for it. I don't. I also have seen a lot on social media about Ciara made some comment about holding hands under the table.
Mhm.
And that was in reference to Craig when she was holding hands with Craig under the table, because that is when Paige stopped associating with Amanda. Because
Really?
Paige left the summer house, it was her decision to leave. Paige
Absolutely.
is a huge success. Hannah
Mhm.
is a huge success despite
Mhm.
Summer House. And I mean,
Mhm.
Andy had Hannah on his show recently and said he is so proud of her, of everything that she's accomplished. Her and Paige both. And Ciara's going to be right there. Sarah is right there with them.
Yeah. Oh, she's gonna be probably more successful, and I only say that because I think the opportunities are gonna open up for her more so than the other, and things that, like, I don't think Paige wants to be on Dancing with the Stars, but you know what I mean? Like,
No, she
Sierra's gonna get
doesn't. She
those
said
kinds of
that. Paige has
opportunities.
said that.
Yeah.
She said, I if I don't want to get out of my bed. Like, and she's
Right.
got opportunities on Amazon to be in her bed. Like,
Right, right.
Paige
So I
knows
think
who
that
she
Sierra's just
is.
gonna get those opportunities just because of what it is.
Right. Right.
But, alright, we're at an hour. I knew this was gonna go long,
All
but
right.
we had to do it.
We
So,
did.
thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe, follow, share, and thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.